Hello, Jackie Roby, Chief Excellence Officer of Inspire Journey Consulting. I am extremely excited to have Jools Sampson of Reclaim Yourself here today. So, Jules and I met through the Transformational Travel Council. We both participated in the designer program, and she has created a phenomenal trip that we're going to learn more about. But first, you just have to meet this extraordinary person. So, welcome, Jules.
Oh, thanks, Jackie. What an intro.
Absolutely. So tell us first and foremost, you're the owner of Reclaim Yourself.
Yeah.
Tell us about your company, when you started, and why you started it.
Okay. I started it 15 years ago. So 2005, I did a big career change. I used to work in international development. I was based in East Africa, and I fell out of love with that whole thing. And in the process of falling out of love, I got into my wellness, recovered from burnout, learned to massage people. I studied yoga. I basically went on one of those big wellness like journeys. And in the process, really decided I didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I didn't have this game plan. I'm going to set up a retreat company. 15 years ago, they weren't so common, but I just knew that I wanted to create wellness events. So I started quite small and did weekends, and then it just organically grew. And it's taken me quite a long time to get to where I am now. And in that process, the whole yoga retreat market has gone from something very small to absolutely booming and then contracting and finding. So I've gone on a journey with it. And in the 15 years that I've been doing it, I've gone from doing quite sort of simple things, learning my trade for years and years, to really specializing in what I call extraordinary locations. So I spend a lot of time finding like unusual, incredible places where we can go and do our wellness adventures.
Oh, it's fantastic. I know anybody who sees your Instagram can see like all of the places that you found that a simple Google search would never find.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. That is my specialist skill and my passion, really. I work with absolutely amazing people, but the thing that I bring to the table is the locations.
So I imagine now as the yoga retreat market has expanded significantly, participating in the Transformational Travel Council designer program really helped to find more ways to even set you apart further than you already are.
Absolutely. I have to say that I found the Transformational Travel Council at the end of 2019, and I felt like I had found my family finally, because the yoga retreat industry here in the UK, it's quite competitive. There's not really much of a community, which makes me very sad, and I really hope that changes one day. But then by finding the Transformational Travel Council, I found a community, a warmly welcoming, encouraging place. And then when I started the design course, I went into it thinking, yeah, I do transformational travel. People come on my retreats and they have transformational experiences. And then I started the course and I was like, oh, I had no idea. Transformational travel is so much more than what your traveler experiences when they're away with you. And I learned so much, and I have changed a lot of the ways that I work just from doing that course. So I'm very excited to the new retreats that I'm creating since I've started that course are quite different.
How are they different?
While I was doing the course, and obviously 2020 pandemic year, there hasn't been any travel. I have taken the time to completely audit my business, and I've pivoted into what I'm calling responsible retreats. So I'm really focusing on sustainable travel, regenerative travel, who I work with, how I work, apart from looking at my carbon emissions and addressing that and reducing them. So the places that I work have changed. Some of the places I was working before, I was working really closely with the local community, and they were doing quite interesting work with the local environment. Now, all the new places that I choose are only owned and run by local communities, and they have really strong conservation, environmental protection elements to them. So the everything that I'm doing now has to have that. Whereas before, some of it was there, but I was more like, oh, I really like this place, I'm going to go anyway. And now I've decided that this is a turning point for us in the travel industry, and all my new locations have to really reflect a regenerative aspect to them.
I think that's amazing, and that's a huge change, and it takes a lot of commitment and extra work, so the fact that it aligns with your values and taught you something in order to make such a massive shift. I might not feel massive, but it took a lot of extra time for you. That's it says a lot about your character.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I put my heart and soul into it for the whole of this year, really. I decided rather than going, oh my God, this is a disaster with the pandemic, I thought this is an opportunity. And I have to say that the Transformational Travel Council was a massive part of that. Like being there with you guys in that community, it just felt like such a great opportunity, didn't it? And we really supported each other through the beginning of that pandemic when we couldn't quite believe what was happening. So I'd never have had the time before to stop and shift direction. So having that time, but also the energy. And my next thing is I really want to go for B Corp, which I thought I could do before. And then I looked at it, I just thought there's just no way. And then having had that part of the course, and now looking at how I've pivoted my business, that's my next mission.
For people who aren't as familiar, can you talk through B Corp?
B Corp is like a certification that you get if your business is designed to be a force for good. And being a force for good, like before, I thought I create wellness retreats, so it's good for the people that come. So that's a force for good. And yes, it is, but it's not enough. So when I looked at the process, normally it takes around 6 months to a year to go through the process. It's a very in-depth process, and it's not that easy to get the certification. You have to really work hard and dig into all your processes in your organization. And I realized at the beginning of the year I wasn't there, but now I've done all this work, I think I can do it now.
That's congratulations. That is really an exciting next step, and
Yeah.
I know you'll achieve it because that's what you do.
Yeah, yeah. Where do you go after you've done the TTC design course? Like,
Right.
I'm so inspired. I have to find something new to challenge myself with.
Amazing. So, speaking of those next steps, I'm extremely impressed because, as we know, the capstone project at the end is creating a trip utilizing all that you learned through the designer program. And your trip is already half full.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm blown away, and I think that really speaks to, the future of what we're looking at here. There's a lot coming and a lot we're looking forward to, and things are on the rise for joy.
I totally agree. And it was so heartening. I feel like if you get it right, then it's going to work. I really feel that right now as we're beginning to come out of pandemic, and we're looking at the future of travel. It's so important. Well, it feels to me, I don't know about you, but not just to go back to what we were doing before. And of the trips that I've got planned, the ones that are the new ones that I've used my travel design skills are the ones that are filling up quicker. Like, just it works. This stuff really works. Like the way you speak about it, the design process, and what I'm offering people in this thing, and my capstone project. I actually started working on it about halfway through the course because I've co-created it with another one of our cohort, Juan Carlos Garcia, who's in Ecuador. And every time he spoke, I was just inspired by him. So I just contacted him and said, I really want to create a retreat with you. And we started work on it before the capstone project was given to us. So then once we were given it, I was already halfway through creating it, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that capstone project, isn't it? So it's a 10-day trip in Ecuador, and the focus is really food and culture, and we travel through the Andes into the Amazon, and traveling with a UK based chef, and she has helped co-create it with Juan Carlos and the local Actual community. So between us, in lockdown, with the joys of Zoom, we have created this trip. So we travel along, we visit the farm, we find out more about how food is grown. Then we get to the edge of the Amazon and we go do some food shopping, and we fly in with some food supplies. And then we spend like a couple of days just cooking together with the local community, and they're bringing their food, we're bringing ours, and we're going to share cooking experiences together, and in between heading out into the Amazon to learn more about biodiversity.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, I have got to add, the other thing is that underpinning all of that is a meditation and mindfulness practice. So
So
we're taking our journal, and we're going to be looking at that as well.
you got me there, because I was just about to say, where is the wellness, Jules?
Yeah. I forgot about that, but I'm so excited about going to Ecuador. I haven't traveled for ages. I just keep imagining myself in the rainforest. Yes, meditation and mindfulness, a daily practice. So we've taken some of the processes that you learn in the design course, and particularly the Transformational Travel Journal. And each day we will have a meditation practice and then have a task for the day.
Beautiful.
And each day the task is different, but it's all around mindfulness and connecting to yourself and journaling that. And each day it grows. And then at the end, you have your journal with your journey. Yeah. Have not done that before. I'm quite excited about it. Put a lot of work into it.
That's going to be extraordinary, and just one of those unforgettable things that people will be able to take that with them and continue to grow throughout the years because of it.
I hope so. Yeah. I hope so. That's the intention. Thanks for saying it like that. Yeah.
Yes. So Jules, tell us where we can find you.
Okay. My website is reclaimyourself.co.uk. I'm based in London. I'm on all the socials as Reclaim Yourself. And all being well, in 2021, I have 10 trips planned. Now, some of them are trips that were supposed to happen this year that got moved. I have really good relationships with all my local partners. As long as there are no travel restrictions and it's safe to do so, all of those trips will happen. And they are happening in Europe, Asia, and South America.
It's
No, now it's so hard to be this patient. So hard.
I love it. And so everybody knows, if you haven't subscribed already to Inspire Journey Consulting's newsletter, make sure to go to the link in my bio and do that. And I'm going to be sending out the details that Jules just spoke about, as well as the link to the trip that her and Juan Carlos have planned, because it's already halfway full and it's time to get on top of that. So Jules, thank you. I'm so grateful for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's so nice to chat to you. I watch your videos all the time, so to be part of it, I'm like, oh, it's exciting.
It's amazing. That warms my heart. I'm so grateful.
Your videos are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love them.
Thank you. All right. Thank you again, and stay inspired.
Thank you. Thanks, Jackie.